I had only lived in the house for about 2 weeks when the smell started. The place wasn't great, but it was affordable, which mattered more to me at the time. I'd moved there after accepting a new job in a rougher part of town where cheap housing disappeared fast. At first, everything seemed normal. Then one evening after work, I walked inside and immediately gagged. The smell was horrible. Rotten. Sour. Almost chemical. I searched the entire house thinking maybe food had spoiled somewhere during the move, but I found nothing. Oddly enough, after a few hours, the odor faded away. The next night, it came back even stronger. This time I searched more carefully and discovered something strange. The sliding glass back door was unlocked. I knew I hadn't opened it since moving in. Beyond the yard sat a thick stretch of woods. At night, the trees formed a solid wall of darkness. I locked the door again and tried convincing myself I'd simply forgotten. Still, the situation bothered me enough that I stayed alert the rest of the night. Hours later, I finally fell asleep upstairs. Sometime during the night, I woke slowly to the sound of a loud grinding noise. At first I thought I was dreaming. Then the sound stopped. A steady dripping echoed through the house instead. Half asleep, I assumed I'd accidentally left the kitchen faucet running. I walked downstairs in darkness toward the kitchen. The dripping got louder. And so did that disgusting smell. I reached the sink and turned the faucet off. Then I noticed something stuffed deep into the drain. Even in the dark, I could tell it was flesh. Torn apart. Wet. Rotting. I stepped backward in horror. That's when I noticed the back door. Unlocked again. A realization hit me instantly. Someone had been inside my house moments earlier. Probably still was. Every instinct screamed at me not to turn the lights on. I slowly backed out of the kitchen and crept toward the stairs. The entire house had gone dead silent. Then suddenly... thump. Heavy footsteps exploded from the room beside the kitchen. I nearly screamed. The footsteps moved quickly across the floor. I heard someone struggling with something near the sink. A second later, the garbage disposal roared to life. I froze halfway up the stairs, barely breathing. After several seconds, the disposal shut off. Silence. Then I heard it. Breathing. A man breathing heavily somewhere below me in the dark kitchen. The footsteps moved again toward another room. I heard garbage bags rustling. Then the sliding door opened. Closed. Silence returned. I ran upstairs, locked myself in my bedroom, and called police. By the time officers arrived, the intruder had vanished into the woods behind the house. What investigators found in the plumbing made the entire situation even more disturbing. The man had apparently been forcing chunks of animal remains down my kitchen drain for days. Large pieces. Too large for normal disposal. Police believed he'd repeatedly broken into my home because he thought the property was vacant. But I never believed that explanation. My car sat outside every day. Lights were on every night. There were obvious signs someone lived there. To this day, I still think he chose my house intentionally. Whether he was trying to hide evidence, scare me away, or cover up something worse, I'll probably never know. But years later, I still wake up some nights convinced I can smell that same rotten odor drifting through the house again.